Most of our fears are self-imposed and can be overcome. Sounds pretty wild, right? Fear is a habit that can be changed and it is not part of your permanent reality. I'm Inspector Mel, if you don't know me, and I investigate and solve midlife challenges. If you're over 40 and feel like fear has been taking you off your script, some good news: fear is a choice. You have the power to choose if you feel fear, or you can use that fear to live more boldly and more confidently. Fear is something we all experience, and at its core, it's there to protect us. For thousands of years, fear kept us alive. It triggered that fight or flight response when danger showed up. But in today's world, those dangers have been replaced by something more subtle. We now have fears like fear of embarrassment, fear of failure, fear of change, or even fear of success. For many of us in our 40s, these fears aren't as simple as they were in our 20s and 30s. We wonder why we feel like we're playing out somebody else's script or someone else's life. And the fears have us believe that change means starting over. Making a drastic, big change in our life will lead to ruin. And we have a fear of judgment. What will people think of us when we try something new? Will they be like, oh, look at them, they're having a midlife crisis? Let me ask you, how many times have you thought about or daydreamed about trying something new, whether it's a hobby or a career change or something really small like speaking up for yourself? And as soon as you do, your mind floods with the what ifs. What if it's a mistake? What if I'm too old? What if I fail? Those what ifs are keeping you stuck. They are an invisible wall that keeps you from making changes to the life that you want. Fear is one of the top reasons people avoid making changes as they get older, but ironically, the regret of not making those changes is far greater than the fear of making them. How do we confront these fears head on? Today, we're going to look at 5 steps you can take to confront these fears and move beyond them. Step 1 is to acknowledge the fear. The first step is simple: recognize it. Call it out. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I'm afraid to do this. It sounds small, but acknowledging and accepting fear takes away the power it has over you. Step 2, reframe the fear. Next, ask yourself, is this fear protecting me or holding me hostage? Fear isn't always a sign of danger. It's often a sign that you're on the very edge of growth and you're about to take a step in a new direction. So that fear kicks in. The unknown feels scary, but it's often where the growth starts to happen. Step 3, challenge the script. Fear comes from stories we've internalized, things that we've been told or things we've told ourselves. Maybe you've heard it's too late to change at 40 or 50, or starting something new is really risky. These are just stories. And the good news is you can rewrite the script and change your story. Grab a piece of paper, write down your biggest fears, and then write the truth next to them. If your fear says, I'm too old to change, the truth might be people reinvent and change at any age. As a bonus, act. You don't need to do something huge. Do something small. Have a conversation that you've been avoiding, or try something new you've always wanted. Each step chips away at the fear that you have. Step 4 is leverage your support. Don't forget how important it is to have a support system around you. Find people who lift you up, where you can talk about what you fear, as this will help it lose grip on you. Look towards your family, your friends, or your community, even a community like this. Having someone in your corner makes all the difference. And also, learn who not to talk to. There are people who will reinforce your fears. Step 5 is to visualize. A powerful tool to use is visualization. Close your eyes and imagine yourself succeeding at the thing you're afraid to do. Picture every single detail. Picture how you feel, what you see, and this primes your brain to believe that anything is possible. A few years ago, I was so stuck by fear of judgment. Every time I thought about going after what I really wanted, this fear would scream. It's too scary. People will laugh at me. And one day I just snapped and I had that enough is enough moment. And that led to me taking the first steps towards what I really wanted, despite the fear. That one step led to another and then led to another. And today I'm doing it. Here I am doing what I want, not as worried about the judgment, working towards the goal, because I stopped letting fear dictate the decisions. The fear hasn't gone away, but I chose to accept and acknowledge that fear and just go out and do it anyway. Fear is very real, but it doesn't have to control you. It is a choice. And no matter what age you are, you can choose to move on from that fear because it's never too late to write your script. And the more you continue your journey towards something, the more negative thoughts that may arise. And you can learn to manage those from this video here.